Joins us would acknowledge his presence. In order not to waste time, I'll begin by also introducing myself. My name is Senior Program Officer of Clean Foundation. We welcome you to this ceremony this morning, which is being organized to recognize and honor a police station that has excelled both in Nigeria and in Africa. In the last ALTUS Police Station Visitors Week, which was organized in 2012. Actually, I was just telling Mr. Lewis here that this event which we are having today ought not to be holding here. It ought to have taken place August 9th in a different environment in Kenya, when we had the ALTUS Global Award, which brings together regional winners from across the continents to interact and showcase some of the good and winning practices that have made the police stations excel. But due to the unfortunate incidents that happened with the fire at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, our DPO and other officers representing the Nigerian Police Force were unable to make that trip. And we felt that a lot of work is being done at the police station level that we need to recognize and also publicize them for what they are doing. And so we felt we cannot let that to still organize something that would showcase the police station and the DPO in question. So that is why we're having this ceremony here. The Police Station Visitors Week is all about, and also share with you some good practices that have come forth from this station, and also interact and also hear from you in terms of comments and questions that you may ask. With these few words, welcome once again. Thank you very much. From this process, and also adopted by other police stations across the world. So this leads us into the Police Station Visitors Week. Why do we organize this? The essence of the Police Station Visitors Week, which has become an annual event, began in 2006, is to encourage local community people visit their local police stations and familiarize themselves with what the police do and how they work, while at the same time also giving them a voice to influence police priorities and ensuring that their own concerns are included. In addition, it also provides an opportunity for them to identify good and innovative practices that can be showcased and exported to other regions. In 2006, when the Police Station Visitors Week began, it was organized in 23 countries across the world. And from 2006 till date, we've had 6 editions of this visit, with increasing police participation as well as citizens and civil society participation across the world. Like I said, one of the objectives is aimed at identifying good practices and also creating a transparency, dialogue and respect between the police and civilians. It also provides a platform where the community people can hold the police more accountable, in the sense that in providing more service delivery, there is a need to have their voice imputed. So when something is not done right, then they can raise and say, oh, you have told us this, but we are not saying it. So with this interaction, there is a better and more cordial relationship between the police and the communities. Now, in the Police Station Visitors Week, citizens who are the local community people assess and evaluate their local police stations in 5 major categories. 1, which is community orientation. How well in tune is the community is the police with its community, in terms of also providing them with basic information. Somebody comes to the police station, how do I lodge complaints? What information do I need? And also generally interacting and getting close to the community. as is very clear from its name, physical condition of the station in terms of facilities, environment, equal treatment of the public. Is it the same treatment across board for all interest groups who visit the police station that receive to seek police services? Transparency and accountability. How open and is our police in providing information, and also about if where officers are found to have committed any misconduct, how open are the police to ensure that such officers are dealt with? And also in the area of detention condition. Now, visitors across the world use these same standards in a similar kit and questionnaire to assess the quality of police services that are provided at their police stations. And 1 week in a year, within the same period, citizens across board are all conducting these visits. Now, it narrows us down to the 2012 Police Station Visitors Week, which is why we are here. It's the 6th edition in the series, and it took place from the 3rd to the 9th of December 2012. We had participating 17 countries with more than 30 police organizations and 61 partners across the world. 1,000 police stations in total were visited, and they received over 5,800 visitors. Now in Africa, we had 6 countries participating: Benin, Cameroon, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, and Nigeria, with a total of about 343 police stations with over 1,000 visitors. Now, narrowing it down to Nigeria, which is our home, a total of 262 police stations were visited, which were drawn from across 14 police state commands, and over 800 citizens participated in that visit. Now, how did we arrive at the winning police station in Africa? The overall assessment was done looking at those 5 areas more closely and what a good police station should possess, which we say it should be more oriented to their community, have remarkable adequate physical conditions, the personnel have to know their public and treat them equally, and transparency and accountability, as we mentioned earlier, and also the station respecting detainees' rights and providing them with good detention conditions. These standards are in line with the international human rights standards as well as the standards of police accountability. Now, our regional winner, which is why we are here, to honor and recognize Victoria Island Police Station. As we all know, where VI is located, this police station is quite an old police station. When I was told how old it was the first time I interacted with DPO, I was a bit shocked that I didn't know that the station was that old. Officially opened in the early 60s, and it provides services to quite an affluent area of Lagos. Now, our visitors who visited this police station rated them very highly over these 5 indicator areas which we were used to for the assessment. In the area of community orientation, they were rated 100. In the area of physical condition, 96.67%. Equal treatment, 96. Transparency and accountability, 100. And of course, detention conditions, 100. The police station, I'll just take us down that, although we put the highest there, more recent, but I'll just go down a bit. In 2009, because it ranked among the first top 20. In 2010 and 2011, ranked among the top 10. And of course, in 2012, it came won the national award as well as the regional award. I might add here that the DPO representing the division in May received, on behalf of the police station, the national award, which was presented by the IGP in Abuja. It's also wanted to mention that at the pioneering edition of the Police Station Visitors Week, which was won by Ilukoji Police Station, was won under the leadership of the DPO who is receiving this award today on behalf of PI. So that says something about him being an agent of change. You've moved from a particular location, you've moved over time, and you are also moving what you have started to other divisions, and which are also showcasing itself now. Now, a couple of good and innovative practices were identified by the visitors when they visited. For example, I'll just run through this because the presentation is going to be made by the DPO himself, where he will give us a bit more in-depth information about some of these things. But what we wanted to bring to the fore here is some of the good practices which the visitors identified when they visited. In the that, for instance, they have what they call the door-to-door. They've tagged the door-to-door policing, which is a way of the police coming close to the community, interacting with, going into the community itself, familiarizing themselves with the community, telling them that they are available for them when they need the services, to the extent of even having their contact details printed out and distributed to community members who from time to time would immediately use this. What this has translated into is that you now have less people coming to the station, because it's when you recognize an incident happening within your locality, you immediately call before without having to come to the station immediately. There is also constant community engagement through regular meetings with the various interest groups and stakeholders within the community. Provisions of, this has also yielded into provisions of other engagements with young people within the community. When we went, there were some canopies which we were put up, which were told that periodically young people within the community come and use the facilities of the police station to organize events and lectures for the youth and young people in the area. And of course, the station provides the public with quarterly and monthly statistics on crime and police performance in the community. And also, they practice what they call geographic policing, which has helped to increase police visibility within the area where they cover, such that now when you make, when there's an immediate call for a distress call, the police is able to respond within a short time of between 3 to 5 minutes. This is very commendable, and we have just captured just a few of some of the good practices, which you will hear more from the DPO in this presentation later. And so what we've done too is also to capture in picture form, because they say pictures don't lie. We may be talking too much, but we want to also show you some of these good practices. Like this is a new human rights office which was recently built with support from the local the chairman of the local government, under which the police station is under the jurisdiction of the police station, to help them establish their human rights desk. Now, these are some of the maps and crime charts which the DPO has set up in their station. When we had a meeting with the DPO, he actually told us that he manually drew the map of his jurisdiction in BI after periodic visits and study of the area, such that he knows every area, the nook and cranny of his jurisdiction. So this has helped him to know how to strategize in placing his personnel and dealing with crime and issues and responding to crimes and issues that have been reported within his station. And of course, if we see the tiny boxes there, the idea is to let us know that they put up all the contact details of the key people within the police station, beginning with the DPO and other senior officers at the station, such that people can easily access these numbers and call the DPOs without having to come into the station. And just by the side, which I'm sure you might not notice, there is a canopy which I was mentioning that has been set up. It also serves as a waiting area for people who come into the station. At least there are chairs there, so that instead of just coming and hanging around, at least you are a bit provided a comfortable environment to relax before your matters or your purpose for the station, your coming to the station, is addressed. And of course, this is a bit dark, but what we have here in the TV close there is a CCTV camera in the office of the DPO, which allows him to see the station and some other areas within the jurisdiction and monitor what is happening from there. All these initiatives were introduced at the DPO. And with those few words, it brings us into what we would like to say, that what is the benefits of the organizing Police Station Visitors Week in Nigeria and in Africa. Now, we know that in Nigeria as well as in many African countries, a lot of police reform efforts are going on. Now, the Police Station Visitors Week is a very useful tool in encouraging the building of model police stations across the country, because it provides you with reliable and valuable and very difficult to obtain feedback from community members on where police services are lacking and how such quality services can be improved upon. It is also a very useful tool in the sense that when reform efforts have started, it helps to evaluate and assess how well those reform efforts are working at the local police station level. And we are saying that it is a tool which we encourage government, donor agencies and other stakeholders to all buy into, because at the end of the day, this will speak to evaluating and helping you assess whether the police reform efforts which have been introduced are actually making a meaningful impact. Now, with this very brief overview, we want to encourage all of us here and to say that we are in the process of planning another Police Station Visitors Week come in 2013, which will be coming up in November from the 3rd to the 9th. And we invite our friends from the media and other members of the present here to participate in this process. And you will find out that you are more empowered to understanding policing work and also appreciating some of the challenges under which they work and how best to assist them to improve providing service to you and I. With those few words, I say thank you very much. Now we'll move into the formal presentation ceremony. I would get the which will be presented by Mr. Frank Odita.
I would urge us to give my daughter a round of applause for that wonderful. I must say that it gives me great joy to appreciate the fact that we have a Nigerian police officer who has distinguished himself among his peers in Africa to have won an award for Nigeria. I think Kadi deserves a very warm round of applause. Like it has been highlighted, the idea of the visit to police stations is to create standards, to make the police actualize their slogan of police is your friend. I knew that when I was growing up as a young man, or young boy if you like, the best place to go to if you are benighted or if you are in difficulty is the police station. And we suddenly discovered that this situation is changing for the worse. That the worst place to go then became the police station. And we found that a change needed to be done. Incidentally, at the point I was head of the police communication department. That was about 22 years ago. And we tried to introduce reforms. And Clean Foundation was a ready partner in this activity. And so it wasn't surprising that when I retired, eventually the board of Clean got me into becoming a member of their board. And I have been there for the past 5-6 years. And I'm very proud to be there because they are doing a human job in trying to bridge the gap between the distance that has been created by unforeseen circumstances. All over the world, it is now community policing that is the in thing. And you cannot do community policing without becoming people-friendly. I know Kade as a person. I know Goke as a person, and he is one officer that I have commented on very well, just like I did to MD Abubakar some 25 years ago, when he wore the same rank he's wearing now. And I told him that he was going to get somewhere. And when he was promoted commissioner, he said my prophecy was coming to pass. And I said, you are just beginning. And I'm glad that Goke is towing the same line. The idea is to work with your conscience. Work because you choose to be a police officer. And if you are a police officer and you're a servant of the people, it should be seen that you are very much in tune with the people you are serving. They appreciate you, they know you, you know them, and you are a ready help in time of trouble for your people. And so, it is not surprising that he had to win this award for Nigeria. On behalf of Clean Foundation and ALTUS, I congratulate him and members of his division for even cooperating with his ideas. Because it doesn't matter how hard you want to work, if you have very bad people working with you, they will put cogs in your wheel of progress. So as I congratulate him, I also congratulate his officers and men who have cooperated with him in making this happen. It's not a speech-making occasion. My business here is to present this award to Mrs. Goke. And it will be out of place if I make the presentation without saying a word. So, Goke, on behalf of ALTUS and Clean Foundation, I present this award to you and congratulate you for winning this award for Nigeria, because it's an Africa award actually. And so, more grease to your elbow. They say to whom much is given, much is expected. Congratulations.
Few words from the award recipient and also the presentation about his good work so that we get to know what he has been doing that cascaded him to the position of becoming the regional winner of the ALTUS police station Visitors Week 2022. Thanks.
The chairman of this commission, our daddy, the distinguished retired commissioner of police, Mr. Fabio, thank you so much for those nice words about it. Like you told the IG, what he has just started. I believe the prophecy for the IG will come to pass.
In your life, too. The members of the ITV,
My chairman, the PCRC chairman, who has been very, very supportive. The representative of the Security Trust Fund, my officers and colleagues there, gentlemen and ladies of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the Claim Foundation so much because this is my second time of winning this award. When it came the second time, in fact the first time I never expected it. Because when they come to visit the station like that, you don't even, sometimes you ask what are they coming to do. And by the time I won the first award, they said they came to the station and said, I've gotten an award and I'll be traveling to the Hague. I was surprised, what kind of award is that? So later they enlightened me about it and those things are put in place that they need to get the award. This is the second time I wasn't even expecting it at all. Just came, and I want to appreciate them for finding time to visit the police stations and putting us on our toes and making sure that we do the right thing. We provide the best service to the community. I want to highlight some of the changes or some of the things that made the VI division to win the award. I want to talk briefly about Victoria Land Police Station, or Victoria Land itself. VI in the 60s, 70s, and even 80s used to be mainly residential areas. Suddenly in the 90s and in this decade, VI turned to become the commercial or nerve center of the country. And you know when that happened, a lot of things may take place because big, large money changes and headquarters of banks, embassies and all what they are there. And that makes it a fertile ground for criminals to want to carry out their nefarious activities. But to God be the glory, since I got to VI, introduced some policies, some policing strategies, which has really helped to make VI a safe place to live and conduct business. The first thing I did was to introduce, I call these 3 strategies of policing. I call it people-centric policing, preventative policing, and due enforcement of the laws as it's given to us. I also made sure that the IG, we have a very innovative, very hardworking, and an IG that is there to leave legacies behind for us to follow. I made sure our program, our strategy of policing in VI, key to the transformation agenda of the IG, MD Abubakar, CFR, MPMNI, to build a people-friendly police force that is professional, disciplined, dedicated, effective, selfless, efficient and upright, and a force that will respect the rights of the citizenry. This division started effective policing by sensitizing members of the public and encourage their active participation in the affairs of the station. The leadership of the PCRC and stakeholders forums are here. We've had so many meetings. We've had to form committees on various issues that it borders on the demands of the community. The people-centric policing we practice is that we make sure that the people determine what we do. Our policing strategy is based on the demands of the people. And the demand of the people is simply to make sure that the area is safe and secure, and our policemen are available in case or whenever they need them, and to make sure that issues that may affect the peace of the area are adequately attended to. So we created an enabling environment that make police to be visible, make police to be more accessible, and we started a system whereby we, like the first presenter said, door-to-door policing. Because when you want to police society, you must familiarize yourself with the society you want to police. With the people you want to police, you must know them. So we took the pain to move from house to house, area to area. Even when Kuramo was there before it was swept away by the ocean, we made sure that our meeting at the Kuramo level was regular, because we know that most of the criminal activities that comes into VI emanates from that place. So we also ensure that policemen are at various points at the beck and call of the members of the public. That is to say, police visibility was very high. In fact, what I did was to divide VI into 5 zones. And each of these zones, we have a patrol vehicle and an officer who is in charge, and men who are positioned in strategic locations. So when issues happen, within a short range of 200-300 meters, you will see a police present that can attend to your needs. It's only when a serious issue comes up that they come to the station. But when there are minor issues, that maybe a case of afraid fighting, minor case of accidents and so on, they are taken care of at the zona, at the points level, where we have officers who take charge of this. Apart from this, we also distributed our telephone numbers, flyers, with security tips, like how to take care of their vehicles, how to make sure that they prevent their vehicle from being removed from park, or from being stolen by car hijackers and so on. We also make sure that on domestic issues, we give them tips, advice on how to make sure that their security, their drivers or domestic servants are properly screened before they are employed, because we've had cases where drivers, when they are not properly screened, they pick vehicles and they disappear with it. They take them off the street, provide shelter for them, provide clothing, provide food, and even send them to school. And by doing this, we're able to remove some of these children from the street. And as I'm speaking now, if you go to the bar beach, you find the number of those children roaming about, has reduced drastically. We also decided to do that because we discovered that sometimes the adult one among them, when we take them to court, the following week they are back on the street. And they whisper to my policeman, we are back, Oga. You said you will take us to court. We are back. So we felt that arresting them is almost become a fruitless exercise. There was one we arrested 3 days ago. He said, yes, you have arrested me, let me go to the cell and sleep. Because we have a bed there. So, but he didn't know we were going to take him to court. And that, the following day we took him to court, and I think he's pulling off Badagry now. Further to our style of policing, we tagged our system that will solve problems, that will bring comfort to the community, that will bring comfort to any person that comes in contact with the police. And we said that a policeman should be available all the time. being available in the sense that the police must be able to make prompt response to call for assistance, regardless of the status, background, accessibility, or wherever that person is. The response must be very prompt. And that is why one of our strategies is to make sure that policemen are in every strategic location in VI. If you come to VI, by the time you drive 100 or 200 meters, you will see a police point. Yes, being helpful, we believe that a policeman must respond to requests in a manner that is helpful, in a manner that is sympathetic, in a manner that shows love and empathy. He must be a problem solver, and he must know the art of resolving disputes. He must also be fair and respectful. Treat the public with respect. Be cautious, be tolerant, be open-minded, and slow to judge. I've always told my policemen that they must see themselves as a shock absorber, because the public will react. Some members of the public will react to them in a manner they will not like. As a policeman, you don't get angry. Rather, you respond by saying, "Come on, sir, thank you, sir." I make sure, I always tell them, the second, you must never get angry, even when you are provoked. It does not take anything from you. When the law is broken, you can still enforce the law. But you must be respectful, you must be polite in enforcing the law. You must be smart. A policeman must be smart. He must be competent. Dress neat. Because if you don't dress neat and you're approaching the public, you're talking to them, they won't respect you. Follow through them, dress neat, be smart, so that you can always get your message across and they can always listen to you and regard you as an officer that is serious. Further to this, we make sure that the front desk is the first place, is the first contact. The complainant or whoever is coming to report a matter and decision, that's the first place of contact. And that place of contact is very, very important. That first place of contact is very, very important. Once the person gets there and he is not treated the way he should be treated, from there he has negative impression about the police, about the station. At the front desk, we make sure that our men are respectful, our men are cautious, our men attend to people coming into stations unconditionally without delaying and without making any unnecessary requests or remark. In fact, to make sure that this standard is maintained, I have a CCTV camera in my office that monitors the counter 24 hours. Everything they do there, I listen, I watch, and because they know that I'm watching them, they're always very, very careful not to make mistakes. We have a cell, our detention, we call it holding cell. In the cell, we make sure that we provide a conducive atmosphere for suspects. And even when cases are reported in the stations, in order not to make the person coming to make the report uncomfortable, we have a place where they can sit and relax, read newspaper. Even sometimes we provide refreshments when we have the means to do that. At least we make sure they are comfortable and they feel very much at home. And we make sure that we make the police station a place that you visit, and when you are going, you are not going there with the fear that, will they listen to me, will they attend to me, will they tell me to bring money before they can attend to me. We don't do that. We make sure that wherever you are, wherever you are coming from, whether small or big, you are attended to, and promptly too. The human rights desk. The human rights desk is also there. Consider that the human rights officer is there. It's very close to our waiting point, and the public have come to know the Human Rights Office, because they built it. So anytime they have, anytime or any moment or anytime the policeman treats them the way they don't like, they go to the Human Rights Officer and make complaints. And the matter is attended to speedily. Like I was saying earlier, our cell is a convenient place for suspects to stay. We have bed, you can see. We have other things that will make them feel very much at home. We have we have games, indoor games they can play that will keep them busy. And we have a TV. That TV is not just there for them to watch programs. We have strictly religious program on the TV.
Okay.
We make sure they watch Christian programs and program in Islam. We have that channel, and that is what they watch. We believe that for that period they are there, if they listen to religious program, can have a impact positive. Sometimes too, apart from providing all this, we do not deny them from having contact with their lawyers or their family members. In fact, as soon as they are arrested, we ask them, where are you from? Where are you? Let us inform you so that they don't declare you missing. And what we make sure we do is that we don't detain suspects more than 24 hours, except maybe in a few cases, 48 hours. We don't. If it's a very serious case, we grant you bail and make sure that you get a reliable surety so that you continue to report in the station. If it's not the case that is serious, minor case, we speedily make sure we investigate the matter and try the matter to go. So most times our cell is not even with suspects. Sometimes you have 2-3 suspects in the cell, and that is all, because our tradition is that you must not keep suspects in the cell longer than necessary. We also have the Gender, Juvenile and Domestic Violence Department. This department, we are aware that so many domestic violence issues that are not taken seriously, cases of rape, defilement, and so on comes in. And we make sure that, because gender or domestic violence issues, if it's not properly handled, it will escalate and become problematic for the family. So we maturely handle it and see whether it can be settled amicably. Where it cannot be settled amicably, we resort to court. But cases of rape and defilement, they are not cases that should be treated with levity. Make sure that the full weight of the law is applied for whoever commit that dastardly act. In reciprocity to the way the VI environment has been handled, in terms of crime, in terms of police station ensures that our actions are subject to the laws and regulations, particularly on the use of force, unlawful long detention, and that citizens have the right to expect proper conduct or behavior from the police. We are bound, or we are condemned to provide excellent service within. We are bound to serve you to even beyond our satisfaction, to make sure that you are comfortable, all your needs have been attended to, and all the requests, and that whatever is disturbing in the area are taken care of. And we make sure that we treat everybody respectfully and fairly, regardless of race, language, ethnic differences, or religious differences. We also make sure that we pay attention to the vulnerability of women and children when we have issues, or even elderly ones. or physically challenged or less privileged. We also make sure that we respect the cultural values of the society where we police. And all this we have done religiously, and all this has really assisted us in making sure that all this we've done, all this we have made possible, and all this has attracted the public support to our police station. And I must say, we receive unalloyed public support and participation, and as I'm saying, residents of VI, they come to the stations even when they don't have issues. They come and say yes, they want to see what you are doing here. Just come to me. Some, even when they have domestic issues that affect husband and wife, they come for advice, and we offer useful advice. I want to appreciate the fact that without the collaboration of the members of the community, the PCRC, the stakeholders forum, other organizations, other security agencies, the Army, the Navy, I must say that the collaboration, the peaceful existing between the police and the armed forces in the VI is so excellent. We relate very well. We have quarterly meetings, we have monthly meetings where we discuss the issues of crime and issues that affect VI. And at that meeting, we form a partnership when it requires that we should go together to carry out raid or put peace in a particular area. We do that. I remember at the time we raided Kuramo, and that night we arrested more than 300 miscreants. That is what we're able to achieve. And I must say, together, we have collaborated with the support of the public. Together we have ensured a safe and more secure Victoria land. And I believe together we have made our citizens to be happy to live, do their business, and sleep. Not only sleeping, sleep and snore with their two eyes closed.
Thank you very much, sir. I must say that from our faces, we would agree with us that VI weren't wrong, or the visitors were not wrong in choosing VI as the regional winner for the 2012. We want to applaud you and congratulate you and encourage the division to continue the good work. And a lot of what we've heard here today are things which other police stations can adopt and do to improve their services. And we will ensure that there's a proper documentation of this, and we'll meet with the relevant stakeholders, at least to share these good practices so that other police stations across board in Lagos and beyond Lagos can know about it and begin to experiment or use some of these things to improve on their own services. Once again, we say thank you very much. I'm sure that our friends in the press may have one or two comments or questions that they may ask, and so we want to give an opportunity to just a very few questions, so we don't overstay here, because we'll actually run out of the time we had agreed to spend. But so we'll throw the floor open for those who may want to say one or two things or ask one or two questions to our DPO. Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My chairman, I greet you, sir. My DPO, I pray the prophecy of my chairman should come quick. So that, my problem is this, so that my young policemen from constable to inspector, their salary should be, I know if God bless you today and you become IG of Nigeria, by now, the constable to inspector salary, the minimum wage will be 150,000.
Okay.
No, I know. See, people, I do verse, I do run mad if people of Nigeria do say police people are collecting bribe. Why won't they? I do say if they not collect bribe, there is no how they can send their children to the school. Because 40,000 naira, I heard that last 2 months, they cut the salary by 5,000 naira. You tell me, 40,000 naira, how can you pay house rent? You enter transport if you are not in uniform, and you buy toothpaste, you barb your head, you can't leave this thing. They will charge you, or guy will put you in the cell. You tell me, how are they going to manage 40,000 naira? I pray that prophecy, sir, to come to the pass very soon, so that you can be able to reform Nigerian police force. Thank you very much.
Let us limit our discussions to the purpose of our being here. We know that there are so many problems, but at least what we are doing here today is to celebrate the station, and so we should our questions and comments should be centered around that. Please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Patience Sobo. I'm a reporter with the Telegraph newspaper in Lagos. The question I'm asking to the organizer, that is the global ranking. The Victoria Island police station has been ranked first. We just want to know the station within Nigeria or outside Nigeria or in the African continent that ranked second and the one that ranked third, like that. I also want to ask the BPO, the police station is located in a very highbrow center, very rich people go there and the rest. Comparing that with the station in the poor community, is this a fair comparison? That's the second question. And the Lagos, this is an African rating. Where does the Lagos State Police Command or Nigerian Police Station stand in the global rating? Thank you.
Thank you.
Because my name is Wally Balogun, right, for the Sun Newspapers. I just want to kind of like a lead to that question on the comparing the eyebrow community with the local ones. What advice do you have? It's like some of those things that really enhance your performance or could have really enhanced your performance is the community you find yourself. For those who are in local community where there are no rich people, just have homogeneous, harassing everybody and things like that, how can they do it in a way that it will level up to your own outstanding performance? Thank you.
You see, well, I must tell you, from my experience, policing is even better done in a local community. Because when you gather the local community and make it known to them what you want to do, they support with everything they have. Policing in an elite community like here is not easy. It's not easy to convince an elite and a very educated man who has already formed his hotel like Mushi, like even Alakuko, or whatever. It's easy to get community support. And even in an elite surrounding like VS, most of these people, you don't even see them. And even when they have issues that police can attend to, they won't call you, they will call the IG, they will call the president, they will call Minister of Police Affairs and so on. So you find out that only very few people who maybe incidentally have just developed their love for police will come along and assist. But in a local community, you can gather the carpenters, can gather the bricklayers, can gather the local people, you can gather and tell them, this is my style of policing, this is what I want you to do. In their little way, they will support and they will appreciate you very big. So it's not about being in VI or about being in anywhere. It's about the person. What are you determined to make change? Are you ready to make a difference? Are you ready to put certain structures in place so that the police station will be uplifted? So it's about that. Even before I got to VI, VI was there. There were DPOs, and when I got there, I met the station in a very bad form. And I told myself, I said, look, I must improve on this police station. Right at the entrance to my office, there's a soakaway that flows from the barracks And there you see, model of faces and so on. You can't even enter your office, and by the time you enter, you must close immediately. And when I got there, I said, look, we cannot continue like this. Complainant will come, people will come to the station. By the time they are taking their statement, they are closing their doors because of bad odor. So I took it upon myself, and I approached some people who assisted, and we've been able to bring a lot of changes. I just pray you have time to visit. Just don't call me that you are coming, just come on your own. Go around and see and go back and form your opinion.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Femi Oluokun. I write for Nigeria Today. Sir, the saying that pictures don't lie, I must really say that it was heaven on earth, seeing the holding cell. In Nigeria, I have been to cells, not as a criminal, but I have seen cells, and I see people sleep on bare cement. But in VI, it is quite different. I must commend you on that. But sir, the Nigerian police force, in which you are, which is your constituency, has been in the news for extrajudicial killings. What is the force doing about that? Just last week, not even a week now, a corporal shot down an ASP in Yobe State. What is the force doing to curb this menace?
I don't know if you want to respond, but like I had initially said, that there are a lot of issues, but let us narrow our questions to our purpose here. If you have any other questions outside this that you want to ask the DPO, maybe after the ceremony you can do that. Now, in response to the question that my sister here asked about the ratings and rankings, actually before we got to the regional award which we are doing today, there was a national award, which it has become a practice that there's a need to recognize and honor police stations who are excelling. So within the country, there was a national award ceremony which was organized in May. And the award was, the top 10 police stations in Nigeria were all recognized and awarded at that ceremony, which took place in Abuja. And the awards were presented by the IGP himself to all the recipients. DPO here was also the national winner from that award ceremony. So what we are doing here, I don't know if you were here earlier when I was mentioning that actually this ceremony shouldn't have taken place. He ought to have collected this award in Kenya when we were doing the global award, because the structure is you do the national award, there's a regional, and then there's a global award where all the police stations from the various continents are brought together and interacting, sharing experiences, and also being recognized for what they are doing. But because of the incident that happened in Kenya with the airports, being closed down because of the fire, it wasn't possible for him and other police officers to attend that ceremony. And we felt that it was important for us to have this because a lot of work is going on which a lot of us do not know, and we need to showcase some of these things and also spread the message so that other divisions can also pick up some of these things, which is why we organized this. Now with the ratings for the regional, what we do is we look at all the countries that have participated, and the top police stations are also rated based on their average, and then the regional winner is picked. Also using the assessment rates which we presented earlier. But with the list,
Second or third?
we will provide you that later, after this event. If we can give you the list of police stations that came first, second, and third in Nigeria and in other regions. But it cuts across not only Nigeria but also other countries. Well, I'll provide you the list. I don't know if there are any other comments or questions. Okay.
Yeah. The chairman of this occasion, I want to join all of us in congratulating the DPO for this award. Obviously, listening to him, some of us, apart from what we saw in the pictures, would wonder whether this is all state managed. I am the executive secretary of the Israel Green Resident Association. I've been on that job for quite a while, over 5 years. By training, I'm not a serviceman, not a postman, not an engineer. I was trained as a banker, and I served as managing director of the bank. So whatever I say, I'm serious about it. I think all that we saw is just a part of the achievements that DPU accomplished, and live witness the fact that the issue about people-centric policing is real. There are quite a number of personnel, people, XPs, XStats, vet, who live in neutral land, who will not talk with the police, but they will talk with the secretary, executive secretary of the Resident Association. So we don't know what's happening. Please tell the police. And I would call him, and surprisingly, he would just in the twinkle of an eye, he would respond. It is real that the police station is people-centric. This is not the being said. A few days back, I think somebody bashed into my car, and I was heading to an occasion. So I said, what is this? I couldn't stop because of the accident. So I moved on. So I left the driver with the car. And I said, look, whatever is the problem, let the police intervene. So I called the police, I called the DPO, that look, there is problem, in order to make sure that at least my interest was protected. The DPO I know one-on-one. But in the end, the matter did not get to the police station. So it is real that indeed also there are people in the station who can man or who man specific positions. So that incident was sorted out. I was not involved. My driver was not wrong. So the police officer, I don't know him. I didn't even care. So I had to now call the DPO that look, that incident I reported to you, right, had been sorted out at the level of that environment. So I believe that there is a lot to learn from the style of policing of our DPO. And I just want to advise, and I think Papa has said something about that. The reward of hard work is more work.
Well, I want to say with these few words to thank all of you for taking time to come and join us to celebrate VI police station and the work that we're doing. And like I said earlier, implore each and every one of us to take time and make out time to join us in the next Police Station Visitors Week, which is coming up in November from the 3rd to the 9th. We'll really be very appreciative to have, at least see all the faces who are here participating in that exercise. So with those few words of mine, I say thank you very much, and thank you for coming. I would quickly add that please do not immediately rush off, because we have some light refreshments prepared for us in the restaurant. So once we finish from here, we can move over to that section. Thank you very much.